Hello, good morning. I'm student meteorologist Brian Mastro. Thank you for joining us here on the Center County Report. Let's take a look at your Center County forecast. Here are the weather headlines we're tracking for the next few days. We have summer weather still sticking around in our area as we have very hot and humid conditions that will be sticking around for the next few days. And today is the start of meteorological fall, as it is September 1st. However, we're not looking at any fall-like conditions today or the next couple of days, so we'll see if anything is coming when we get to our 7-day forecast. And here's your day planner for today. We'll have a temperature around 76 degrees, so already into the upper 70s by late morning, and then working our way into the 80s as we enter the afternoon. And then by mid-afternoon, we'll be in the mid to upper 80s. And they'll just keep going up. And then around the evening hours, we'll finally start to cool down a little bit as we'll be back into the lower 80s around 6 p.m. And then those will continue to drop into the night. So here's temperatures that we're looking at around the state. We have mostly the mid-60s for much of this area of the state in the center region, and then a little bit chillier up in Bradford, and then it's even warmer down here in the southeastern portions of the state. Philadelphia coming in at 76 degrees, Harrisburg at 73, and Allentown at 70. And then we'll also look at those dew points across the state, and those are very high as well. 64 here in State College, 68 in Philadelphia. And this is just making it very uncomfortable, very unpleasant to be outside as the humidity is just really high, and it's just going to make it even more uncomfortable outside. So are there any clouds or any rain out there in Pennsylvania? There's a little bit of patchy clouds up here in the northern central portion of the state. And other than that, it's just clear skies across the entire state. And then zooming out, is there anything coming? No, the only thing to speak of on the radar is all the way over here in eastern Illinois, so there's no rain or even just some clouds to provide a little bit of relief from this heat. So what exactly is setting all of this up? Well, we have this high pressure system sitting over the southeastern United States, and that's just bringing all of this warm and humid air up from the Gulf of Mexico and into our region, which is just bringing all this heat and all this humidity and just making it really uncomfortable. And this ridge isn't really moving, so this isn't going to be going away for at least the next few days. So here's your future cast. There's just some patchy clouds working their way across the state, and then there's just no relief in sight, as there's a couple patchy showers that aren't really anything too significant in northwestern Pennsylvania, so nothing today. And then by 4:30 tomorrow, still no rain, no clouds, no relief from the heat. So what are we looking at today? We're looking at a high of around 86 degrees here in State College with very humid conditions and winds just light coming from the northwest. And then working our way into tonight, we're going to drop down to around 64 degrees. And since those dew points are so high, we'll get some patchy fog, and it will be quite muggy overnight as well, with winds still pretty light coming from the northwest. And then we'll also take a look away from Pennsylvania really quickly at Tropical Storm Fred, which was yesterday Hurricane Fred, as it impacted the Cape Verde Islands down here, which was the first time they were impacted by a hurricane since 1892. So a very long time. And Fred has weakened since moving over the island's winds now down to 65 miles per hour. So it is now just a tropical storm, that pressure at 997 millibars. And where is Fred going? Fred's just going to drift out into the open waters of the Atlantic, slowly weakening before dissipating after too long. He's not going to provide any major impacts anywhere else. As a tropical storm, it'll be weakened and over and done with within the next few days. So let's take a look at your 7-day forecast, see if there's any relief from the heat in sight, and not really. We have highs of in the mid to upper 80s for much of the week. Finally, by Saturday, we'll drop down to around 80, which it's not as hot, but it's still pretty hot, especially for this time of year. And then looking into the start of next week, we're still working our way into the mid 80s. So there isn't really any relief from this heat in sight, as it will be quite hot and quite humid for at least the next foreseeable future. And then also we'll look at your forecast for Penn State's first football game of the season as we travel to Philadelphia to play Temple. And the forecast for the 3:30 p.m. kickoff, if you're planning on traveling there, is a temperature around 85 degrees with partly sunny skies. And once again, it's going to be hot, it's going to be humid. So if you're planning on going to the game, make sure you bring some sunscreen and just be able to stay out of the heat at some point. That's all I have for you for the Center County Report. I'm student meteorologist Brian Mastro. Thank you for joining us, and have a great day.